When this conference was put together, there were two things that kind of drove it forward. And the first was this idea of a retrospective, but not a retrospective in sort of a negative sense or an entirely celebratory sense. But the retrospective idea was that we could both be nostalgic and be full of what ifs, right? And a sense of possibility. And so we heard a number of those today. We heard about the golden age of governors, and we heard about the life sources that drive the canyon. We heard about responsible and shared use and doing all the things. We heard about lots of tools that exist to make this happen. We heard about treaties and alliances and collaboratives and acts, and we saw maps, lots and lots of maps. We learned about barbecue on Sundays that made Mondays more civil, and we heard about etiquette videos that people put lots of thought into, trail maintenance, and shady places on the river. We heard about bighorns and blackberries, hell's bells, and dark, rich, loamy water. And more than anything, we heard about sophisticated professional staff that need to be funded and recognized because they know their shit and because they get things done. So we found people that lived every day on the river and had it in their DNA. We found people that had taken 100 trips down the river, spent 9,000 hours every year on that river. And it's part of what the Andrus Center does, is to make sure those perspectives are represented and to figure out how to take a conversation to a new level, to make something that honors the traditions and also make sure that these things we value don't disappear on our watch. So collaboration is a verb, and by participating with us, you showed us that we're the ones that can step up to these responsibilities. And also we can look at the past, not just as a glory, as something to celebrate, but also not just as a tragedy, instead as a map for our collective ways forward. So thank you for being here. I'll invite Katherine back up to the stage so that we can say thank you specifically to the many hands that started planning this over a year ago so that we can all be in the room together today.
So we want to thank the speakers who modeled the best of civil discourse. We want to thank their families who came here, the students who attended, even though you lurked in the back, you were here. There were a lot of businesses that relate somehow to the canyon, and they're here in the room, and we want to acknowledge them. Some are large, some are small. Idaho Public Television for joining us yesterday evening. We want to thank the librarians and special collections at the universities, the advisory board members and the board members for our two centers, our staff and our colleagues, the audience. And then there's a slide of sponsors. And then there are the satellite locations. We had the City of Lewiston Library and Lewis Clark State College actually, I think, joined that location. And then I'm not thanking the cookies in the back. Okay. The biggest thanks from, I think, Emily and me goes to our colleagues, Danielle Trujillo, who is trapped, I think, in the booth, and then Crystal Callahan down here in the front is with Katherine.